Hi guys. Okay, so I am about to cook some kale. So cook some kale with me. Right after I put my hair in a ponytail. I don't know why this has been such a difficult task for me to put my braids in a ponytail after I get out the shower. Every day it's a struggle. Alright, so I am away from home. I am at my friend's house. My friend just bought a new house. Super cute. So my friend is still at work. So I'm starving. I'm about to make some kale. So cook with me. So I have not done a YouTube video in a couple years now. So I have I just used the kale from Trader Joe's. I'm gonna cut up some onion and garlic and like saute it a little bit. I guess it's called saute. And I'm gonna just add, super easy, super fast, and I'm gonna just add a little bit of olive oil, cayenne pepper, garlic salt, red pepper chips. Is that what it's called? Yep, crushed red pepper is what it's called actually. And a little bit of turmeric. And a little bit of sesame oil just because I like the flavor of it. So what I'll do, I have not done a YouTube video like I said in forever. I'm just gonna thug it out. So I don't think I want to like deal with editing YouTube videos or whatever. So these videos are gonna be super raw. Girl, you might even cut the fire down. The videos, like I said, will be super raw. I'm not into the whole YouTube editing, but I know I need to get back into it. So a little bit about myself, because I know I have a few videos edited, a few videos posted. The last time I was really like focused on doing YouTube, I was married. I am now divorced, thank God. So that was my life then. I thought about deleting the videos, but I still want them there. I don't want to delete them, but they were just years and years ago. So it's time. It's time to start back. I know that I've been wanting to get back to YouTube for a while now. I've been wanting to get back to YouTube for a while now, but like I said, the whole editing thing is just a whole nother job in itself. So currently I am working as an esthetician. I'm just gonna go give a little recap about myself and what I'm doing right now. I have a home-based studio in LA in my backyard of my home. I provide all natural plant-based products. So all the products that I use with my clients, I make them myself. I make them, or I formulate them. Sounds better, I guess. But I formulate all my products. I sell all my products. I use all my products. I just recently went live and gave myself a facial. That's why I look kind of greasy right now. Don't mind that. I gave myself, because I'm away from home, I gave myself like a fast, quick, because my skin has been super dry. So I just gave myself a quick little, I guess, pick me up to maintain my skin's moisture. Forgive me for walking away from the camera and being extra, I guess, I don't know, I'm moving all around, but like I said, this is gonna be the flow of my videos. I will not be editing videos. I may like do a few cuts here and there, but other than that, I'm not doing all the extra stuff, but I'm still gonna do my YouTube videos. So yes, I have a home-based studio. I have been working for the past, December will be 3 years to build my clientele. I'm having a lot of fun. I am completely in love with everything that I do. If my boobs pop out, just don't mind them. Sorry. This is like my little, I'm not going anywhere. This is my home outfit. I guess I can tell you my esthetician story while I'm here. I got to figure out what I'm gonna be talking about this whole time, but while I'm cooking kale. So at some point in my life, y'all, I used to eat kale every single day. I love, love, love kale. So I need to get back to it because I've gained so much weight. But anyway, long story short, I mean, back to the point. It'll be 3 years in December. What happened was I was working for, okay, so let's go back to, I was married. That was the last time you guys really saw me. So I was married, and then I have a few videos of me having a clothing store, but I never like came and explained the situation. So I was married, we separated, divorced. I came back to LA. I was living in Virginia at the time. I came back to LA. And I worked like a slave. I came back, moved home with my parents. I worked for, I don't know for how long, maybe like, it was less than a year. I was working 3 jobs, saved all my money. I always wanted to have a clothing store. I ended up, it wasn't even planned. I just so happened to drive past a location and it had a number with a for lease sign. I ended up calling the number. Long story short, I ended up opening up a clothing store. I was able to do it because I had the money saved. I ended up opening the store. I had 3 jobs right before I opened the store. When I opened the store, I quit one of my jobs, but I was still working 2 jobs. And then I had a friend that was like kind of running the store for me. But I don't think she just had the experience to do it. And I was just scared to quit my job. So I was just spending all this money, and I just ended up closing the store. It took all my money, so I had to start all over, save money all over again. I ended up moving out of my parents' house, and I was working. So one day I was on my way to work. I was working hard, but I was on my way to work. I'm gonna try to keep this video under maybe like 20 minutes at the most. I was on my way to work. I was super tired because I was driving. If you guys are familiar with LA, I lived in the city of LA, and I was driving back and forth to the valley every single day for work, 6 days a week. And I only had 1 day off. My one off day, I was like super tired, just like laying around being lazy because I was so damn tired the whole time. But anyway, so I was on my way to work one day, and I was just like, I had to have a conversation with God. I was like, Lord, I know this is not what you have for me. This is not, like, this can't be it. This cannot be my life. So I just started praying. I started asking for like instruction and like my life, like within, I'm not even being extra, like within a few weeks, like things just started to shift in my life. So I worked after that probably about a year later. And then I was just like, in the process of me trying to figure things out, I was just like, okay, what is it that I could possibly be, like, what can I do? I need to make a couple extra $1,000 per month, or like on the weekends or whatever, but I needed a couple extra $1,000 per weekend because in my mind, I was still gonna do the clothing, like I was still pursuing the clothing store. I was just trying to find a different route to do it because I know the store was just too expensive, too much time. but it wasn't in my head that I was gonna quit my job though. Like I was still like, okay, I'm gonna just work and just find something else to do. So I started selling flowers on my front porch. I would get up early in the morning, like 5:30 on Saturday morning, go downtown to the fashion district. I mean, not to the fashion district, the floral district, buy a bunch of flowers, and I would just do arrangements and sell flowers on my front grass. I did that for a while. That was a lot of fun. Still not gonna bring in a couple $1,000s on the weekends. So I was like, okay, so something else has got to give. So I started researching and praying, asking God for direction and instruction. And then I just came up with the idea. I'm like, everybody that I know that's doing lashes, they're like killing the game. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do lashes. Mind you, I've never been into beauty. Like, I'm super plain Jane. Didn't know anything about lashes. So I started doing research, found a lash class. And for whatever reason, I did further research, found out that in California, in order to do lashes legally, you have to be a licensed esthetician. And I was just like, oh, hell no, I am not going back to school. Like, I'm just not. Okay, so then fast forward a couple months later, thought about it, and I was just like, okay, well, let me just see. So then I started researching schools in LA. I went to visit 2 of the schools. The second school I went to visit, what happened? Oh, the lady was like, we have a new class starting Monday. And I was just like, okay. And this was a couple days before Thanksgiving in 2019. Yep, 2019. It was, so Thanksgiving is the last Thursday of the month of November, I believe. Maybe it wasn't, I don't know when it was. But anyway, she said they had a new class starting the following Monday, because they started new classes once every month, the first Monday of every month. So they had a new class starting. And then, so I was like, okay. So I left there, put in my notice at my job, effective immediately. I quit. And that next morning, that next Monday, I was at school. And what happened was, because the whole point of me doing all this, because I was like going to learn lashes, I had to quit my job because I wanted to do the schooling full time so that I could hurry up and get it over with. So what I did was, everything that allowed me to get extra points, extra time, I did it. So I was done with school in about 3 months. Once I was done with school, what happened after that? Oh, so maybe 3 days before I was done with school, luckily I had all my points, all my work turned in, everything was done. The only thing I needed was the time. But luckily, so I had everything done, then boom, COVID hit. They closed everything down. I have 3 days remaining for school. So we go home, and then because I had everything done, they end up going on to Zoom. All I had to do was just sit there because I needed my hours. And then I was done. So after that, what happened next? So then we were at home for COVID. This is before I knew I was going to be making my own products, everything. And I'm like, while we were in school, I was giving facials before school, after school, on the weekends. COVID hit. I'm like, okay, I can't take clients. What am I going to do? So I knew that I was using my own products, because the products that we used in school were so crappy. So I knew that I was using my own products on my clients, but I didn't have the idea to sell my products. So during COVID, I was like, well, shit, I gotta find some way to make money. So that's when I got the idea to start selling my products, which was another blessing. And then once everything started opening back up, I was able to take clients. Clients were rolling in. I started selling products. That was working. And then one day, because I was working out of my garage. So our garage is renovated into a bar. So I was doing all my facials in there, but my family like hangs out there on the weekends or whatever. So I was like kind of in the way. And then one day my dad came over and he was like, I'm gonna look for you. And this is while he and all his friends, they were like in the back hanging out and drinking and stuff. He's like, I'm gonna start looking for you a space to work or whatever. I'm just like, oh, okay. Mind you, like my family, they love me, they support me, but not like that. So I was just like, oh, okay. I'm thinking, okay, he just drinking, he drunk, he talking shit. Like, you're right. And then he's like, he told me he was going to start looking for me a space. Okay, fast forward a couple weeks later, he was like, you know what? We can just build in the backyard. And I was just like, oh, okay. He was just like, we could do it here. And I was like, oh, okay. Still thinking, because it was another time they were in the back. He's drinking and stuff, having fun. So I'm still thinking he talking shit. Like, I did not believe him. Then maybe like 2 weeks later, maybe 3, I was coming home from getting Chick-fil-A. I'll never forget. I was coming home from Chick-fil-A, and as I was pulling up to the house, he was walking out, and he was like, the builders will be here tomorrow. And I was just like, oh, okay. Still in my head, I'm like, you're right. And the next day, which was a Monday, because when he was there, actually, so I couldn't have been coming from Chick-fil-A. I don't know where I was coming from then, but the next day was Monday, because he was there on the Sunday. He comes over on the weekend. Unless it was a Saturday, because sometimes he comes on Saturday. So it may have been a Saturday. I do remember coming from Chick-fil-A, so maybe it was a Saturday. But he's like, the builders will be here on Monday or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, still didn't believe it. The builder showed up on Monday. They're working. I still don't believe it. Like, I didn't believe it until I was actually in my studio giving someone a facial once I had like set up and everything. And I just felt one day it was just so weird. And I was like, okay, what is going on? You cannot be doing this. So I was giving one of my clients a facial. And she, like, I just started like getting like teary-eyed. I felt extremely grateful, and then tears started rolling down my eyes. I was like, okay, Erin, you cannot be sitting here crying while you're working. And so I had to get myself together, but it didn't like really hit me until I was in that, I don't know, I guess this space of like, he really did this for me. And I didn't really have to pay for much. I paid for like my decor, like certain things that I've just had to have. I paid for that, but I didn't have to pay for anything. Like this whole, I think ever since I left from being married, it was such a, I don't even have words for it right now, but it was such a, what could I say? It was just very trying. It was such a trying time for me in my life. But ever since I came home, like during that time, I guess because of the situation was such a, whatever it was, like I turned my focus to God because I really didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know how to be, how to feel. So I just like make sure that I focus more on God. I prayed way more than I ever prayed before in my life. I started fasting. I had never fasted before. So I started incorporating fasting in my life. And I just focused on God because I feel like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen. So if I focus on God, I know that God will always take care of me. Of course, I've always had a relationship with God, but I never felt like I had to fully, although my whole life has been dependent on him, but that situation made me feel like, okay, you got to depend on God because you really don't know. Like I was coming home to nothing. Like when I came home from Virginia, I had like less than $300 in my account. I didn't have a job. And once I started working, so once I got home, the very next day, I just sat on the computer and I just applied for jobs all day, like literally all day. I probably the hours that that's what I told myself. I was like, okay, so when I get home, I'm gonna act like looking for a job is my job. So it took me literally one day, but like I said, this time in my life, I was praying so much. I was like, I just felt super close to God in this situation. Like even my ride home, I drove home. That's a whole nother story. But God he had his hand on me. But that one day I stayed home all day, looked for jobs. By the end of that day, I had interviews the following day all day. By the end of that day, I had 3 jobs, literally. And then the following week, I was at work working. And that's exactly what I've been doing ever since I've been home. I've just been working. But right now, I mean, I still work. I just don't work from a job. I work for myself. And it's all God. Like, this is all God's grace and mercy over my life. And I cannot, like, the fact, like I said, like, that my dad just came to me one day, like, I'm gonna start looking for you a space. Like, what? Why? Not why, but, like, why? Where'd that come from? And I just have to give all that credit to God. Like, God has blessed my life in such tremendous ways. In the past, I would say, I don't know, how long have I been home? 6 or 7 years. This entire 6 or 7 years has been just like a tremendous blessing. Not to say that any of it was easy, because it has not been the easiest. But it's been a great blessing. And I'm grateful and I'm thankful. So I guess in addition to this video telling you guys what's been going on with me, I would also have to add that when like shit look bad, when shit look crazy, when things don't feel good, when, excuse my language, I cuss sometimes and I still love God. But when things don't seem to be how you think they should, or how you want them to be, or how you would want them to be, like sometimes we're in situations in our lives and we're just like how did I even get here? This is not what I want. But what I've learned from that situation is, and for many, not just that situation, a lot of situations since then, the things that I want are not, like, I would much rather have God's will for my life over my own. So a lot of times we want things in the moment, and then after it's over, it's like, what was I thinking? Like, thank God that shit is over. So just find in the midst of the hard times, I'm being long-winded, but in the midst of the hard times, and this is what I tell everybody, all my friends, any person that I talk to that's going through some crazy stuff, find out or find something to be grateful for. Like, what are you grateful for? Even if you're homeless, if you're like the fact that you have your mind, that you can walk, that you can feed yourself, that you can still go to the bathroom yourself. Like, somebody always has it worse. So find a way to be grateful and focus on that. Focus on God. Focus on whatever it is that you do have, so that your mind, because what happens is when we aren't focused on being grateful, we're focused on whatever negative situation that's going on in our lives. And then our mind just starts to dwindle, and then we're just in the worst space ever. So if you can keep your mind positive in the midst of negative situations, in the midst of negative times in your life, because it's life and nobody lives a perfect life. Nobody, like not one person. No matter how much money you have, because it's really not about money. No matter how good you look or whatever it is, it's still, everybody got some shit. Everybody got hardships. So just focus on being happy. Focus on the grace that God has provided. Focus on maintaining your relationship with God, because God always got you. Like, He is always a good God. God in the name of Jesus Christ, I would say that. But God is a good God. God loves us. God wants the best for us. God promises us so many things, and God cannot be a liar. So this is my first video. I guess the start of many. I'll be doing, I'll maybe going live, doing live face shows. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing, but I know I'm gonna be back on YouTube. So, this is the first of many, the start of many. So I will see you soon. Don't forget to thank God for your blessings. Don't forget to say your prayers. And don't forget to take care of your crusty skin, girl. Bye.